As for Andre Agassi, it has not been that kind of a year for him because it's been to some extent up and down again. Remember, just a year ago, he was unbeatable. He won the Australian, and then he won in Indian Wells, and he won here as well. Well, he injured himself this year before the Australian ever started. That would set him back a little bit, but he's looking pretty strong here, Patrick.
He's looking very strong here, Cliff. I mean, he had a hiccup in Indian Wells last week when he lost in the opening round, but in the tournaments he's played since the Australian, well, he made the finals in San Jose, losing a thriller to Leighton Hewitt. Then he wins in Scottsdale, his 50th career win there. Has a hiccup last week, but comes here looking to play the kind of tennis that's won him 4 tournaments here in Miami. Let's look at that match he played in the previous round against the Australian Open champ from this year, the Swede, the surprising Swede, Thomas Johansson. And Agassi really dominated this match. He had a slight misstep in the middle of that first set when he lost his serve, but got it right back, measuring. Well, look at this runner from Johansson. I mean, that was a prayer there answered. But Agassi just hitting the, look at that return. That was a 129-mile-an-hour serve there. Agassi returns it for a clean winner. Look at this runner. This where you see that fitness, that intensity from Agassi. Wins the first set 7-5. In the second set, well, he brought out the old double-A steamroller. Johansson trying to find a way to get into it, but Agassi moving on comfortably and doing it in a very, very impressive display out there on Stadium Court. So he moves through to this quarterfinal matchup today against Nicolas Lapentti. And Lapentti is a guy, Cliff, that's had to work awfully hard to get to this point, and that could be a real factor today as you see Agassi getting that wrist taped up by the ATP Tour trainer Doug Spreen. Why? He loves playing down here in Miami. And why? Well, the reason why is because the conditions are perfect here for him. It's a little heavy, a little slower conditions, and he likes to heat. He likes to, you know what he likes to do, Cliff? He likes to punish guys.
All right, well, let's talk about Nicolas Lapentti, because talk about enjoying playing down here. Yes, Agassi does, because he has, as you said. Look, Lapentti is maybe not one of the young lions that we talk about a lot, but let's add quickly that he plays here in Miami, lives here in Miami. He also, in fact, both of these boys really like the condition.
Well, he's a workman-like guy. You see, he had that breakthrough year in '99. Where, to me, he really overachieved. He's a great competitor. He got to number 8 in the world and made the Masters, being one of the final 8 in the world. And now he's been in the mid-20s, which I think is about accurate for where he should be. He's a grinder. He's got a pretty sneaky first serve. He's got a big forehand that hits with a lot of spin, but his backhand can't really hurt you. Can't really penetrate through the court. If you can't penetrate through the court against Agassi when Agassi's playing well, you're in for a long day. So I expect that Agassi's going to work him over and move on. And lo and behold, that Agassi-Hewitt final is looking more and more likely, Cliff.
So he already made your prediction, but let's find out. This is live coverage here. Andre Agassi, USA, Nicolas Lapentti, Ecuador, at the NASDAQ 100 Open when we continue.
Looking good so far this year, 12-2. At number 10 in the entry system position, the rankings that roll over throughout the 52 weeks of the year. And he needs to do well here to stay in that top 10, Cliff, because, of course, he's a defending champ here. So if he doesn't repeat here, or at least get to the final, he'll drop quite a few spots in the rankings.
He needs all the skills that he has in order to accomplish that and stay up there in the top 10. Here he is on the subject of aging.
The question you really have to ask yourself is not so much what their age is, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, you know, what are your strengths and weaknesses, and you need your body to hold up. My body feels great. I feel like I'm again moving as well and as fit as I've ever been, and now that allows me to bring all my experience into the equation, and I still have the shots when my shots are there. So I haven't seen anything come along that has made me go, okay, this is now out of my hands.
What? He talks about his body holding up. The truth is that he's in better shape now than ever. Remember when he got on the tour first, he couldn't wait to get a hamburger joint or Taco Bell or whatever it was to get himself some junk food, and he's changed that now entirely.
Sure has. I mean, he's just built so sturdily now. Nicolas Lapentti, 25, from Guayaquil in Ecuador. Of course, his uncle, the great Andres Gomez, who had that incredible win at the French Open.
But he was saying after his last round that Miami is as much home for him now, and so he very much feels at home. Yeah, as do all the South Americans. Look how well they're doing here.
Yeah, they're all, quite a few of them getting through. These two have played a number of times before, Agassi winning every time, and the last time they played was last year in Indian Wells, Cliff, when Agassi was dominating the field in the men's game, and Nicolas Lapentti and taking on Agassi, and it was all Agassi in this one, just under the lights. And you see Lapentti has to really work hard. Look at that, trying to run around and hit the forehand, but Agassi too smart. And this was ugly last year for Lapentti. Agassi just able to dictate the points, move him around. Forehand winner there on his way to winning the Masters Series event in Indian Wells. So there is this head-to-head 4-0. They played 3 times on hard courts.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty for Lapentti. The last 2 times they played, 1 and 2 the scores, only won 3 games. This game probably matches up quite well. Having said that, Patrick, last time they played in that match that you were recalling a second ago was when Agassi was really at his best. He was flying.
Yeah, if Lapentti can hit some heavy forehand and get the ball up high on Agassi, he's going to really have to win some cheap points with that serve as well, because he can pop that first serve and hit some win some cheapies with that. But if he has to hit a lot of second serves, Agassi's going to be all over it. Now, of course, Andre changing coaches just after the Australian Open when he had to pull out. Darren Cahill now, the Australian, has been with Andre for about a month now.
I know who you think is going to win this match because you've already shared that opinion with us. Now what's the over-under on how long it's going to last? But just by the way, we are going to stay with this match until it's over.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, obviously, but I don't. To me, if the way Andre's been playing, it's going to be tough for Lapentti to even be in one of the sets. But the nice thing about Lapentti is he's a competitor. He's feisty, and he's going to grind it out there. And his coach there, Pato Alvarez. You see the great Jose Luis Clerc just next to him to the right of to Pato's left. There's Jose Luis.
Pato
Rodriguez, excuse me, and Jose, the great Argentinian player. There's the draw. Thinking the other Pato, the Spanish coach.
I used to play against that guy. It's the reason I know.
Hewitt gets through to the quarters. That win over Blake. Gonzalez and Safin are out there now. It's 5-2 Safin. Agassi, Lapentti, Chela, Rios. Talk about the South Americans. There's 2 more with Chela and Rios. Chela from Argentina, Rios, of course, from Chile.
First ball live. And a double fault. Checking the sun. And everything's fine with the sun. Ace. It's late enough in the afternoon where the sun's not that much of a factor from that side.
Agassi's been just flying out of the gates in his matches here, Cliff, and you can already see the first game of this. He's got his feet moving, his intensity is there.
He's giving the ball person.
Well, you get a little older and you're playing out there so many years, Cliff, you start noticing every little thing.
Yes. Good steer there by Agassi. That went on the line. You're suggesting that Agassi is a little like idiosyncratic?
Yes, no doubt. Lapentti trying to little short backhand there, slicing it. Agassi does well to scoop it up. Put the overhead away for the winner. I can assure you that as we see our shot spot here, Agassi hitting that. Ooh, long. Ooh,
yes,
just on the line. Nice call.
How good is that?
I can assure you, Cliff, that when Agassi was first starting out, he didn't care where the ball kids were standing. He didn't go back to their right spot or make sure the towel's on the right side of the court, you know, all those things. Lendl got to be very much like that at the end of his career, too.
Didn't you tell me that he's like that pretty much in his life that, like he calls the restaurants before
Very
he goes
particular,
there, orders
yes.
what he wants.
Yeah, very
and
particular.
Keeps a clean room, that type of thing.
Yeah, likes to keep everything together.
Deuce. Agassi is the kind of guy also who doesn't suffer fools gladly. I mean, when you talk to him, you got to make sense. Otherwise, he looks at you like, you know, what are you talking
I know, that's
about?
why I always have to do the interviews with him. Right,
Oh,
Cliff?
that's a low blow. Man. Agassi holds on, 1 game to love. We're live here, NASDAQ 100 Open. We're on Stadium Court.
Struggling. Pavel Bure hasn't done much to turn their fortunes
How about
around.
your new 18-year-old goalie, though? Are you going to make a difference to your team?
Not now.
Too late?
Too early for him. Yeah, too late in the season.
1 to Agassi.
Take a seat, please. Thank you.
That's not what you want to see if you're Nicolas Lapentti. The first rally on your own serve, and Agassi just relentlessly punishing the ball, taking it early, moving him side to side. Look at the look at the footwork. That is just beautiful to see. Preparation, those tiny little steps to get yourself in just the right position. That's fun to watch. And Agassi's in this type of mood. That's good play. Lapentti had got to take some chances. Lapentti.
Mentioned that Andres Gomez is cousin of Lapentti's. His dad was a great sportsman and then turned politician. Was a member of parliament in Ecuador, and he is an ambassador, Nicolas, for Ecuador. He was awarded a medal for sports merit, and they appointed him honorable ambassador of Ecuador. He's got a diplomatic passport.
Yeah, that's where that good first serve can help out Lapentti. Can we get Agassi to miss hit some returns as he did there, and then immediately look to pounce on that short forehand.
30-15 Lapentti.
That's a good serve there. Sets up the miss hit return from Agassi. Lapentti has time to take a couple of steps to his left and rip the forehand winner.
Game point. Lapentti holds on. You can tell, actually, Lapentti, he's a very open kind of a guy and has been for a long time. He comes from a very well-rounded family. Well-brought-up kid, Lapentti. Not just a kid anymore, either. Safin has won the first set against Gonzalez.
Talk about some big hitters out there. If those guys can blast the ball, of course, Gonzalez beating Sampras in the previous round, 7-6, 6-1.
Fernando also beat Carlos Moya. Straight sets. In the qualifying, as you said.
15.
Agassi's the youngest. He was 19 when he won this tournament for the first time, and the oldest, 30, champion in tournament history. That was last year. He's 31 years old now.
Another guy who had some longevity in his career, of course. Cliff, you remember the great muscles, Ken Rosewall. How about Jimmy Connors? Forehand pass there from Lapentti, talking about Connors and Agassi. After turning 29, Connors won 21 titles. Agassi 10. How about the slams? Oh, look at that. Agassi with 4. Agassi also able to finish #1. I like that comparison there.
Hustle. That will be in beautifully.
Well done by Lapentti.
Break points for Lapentti coming up.
Well, you know when you play Agassi that you got to change the pace up now and then, make Agassi move in as Lapentti does, and then Agassi knew there's no chance he's going to run that down. So much top on that forehand flick.
Listen to this crowd. He's a Miami native, Lapentti.
South American contingent.
Yeah.
Shayla, Rios, Lapentti, Gonzalez.
Agassi saves 1.
Agassi, the only North American left, Cliff. James Blake going out earlier today to Hewitt. Round of 16 match there.
Squillari too.
That's right, Squillari was in a battle with Andre Pavel.
He went down to Pavel.
Pavel won that in 3, just finished up out on
he was ahead in the second after winning the first. Actually. Squillari, the lefty from Buenos Aires. Deuce.
Lapentti taking an extra peek at that call there, but nothing doing on that wide serve from Agassi. As far as the call goes.
Good comeback from Agassi in that game. It's 2-1 Agassi. We're live here at the NASDAQ 100 Open. Miami, Florida, hosting this major championship. Agassi 2-1 on serve here in the first set. Best of 3 quarterfinals. And tonight, Kim Clijsters and Monica Seles. Great thing about women's event here is that the same get through to the last 8 for the most part, and you have another star-studded lineup. Seles Clijsters tonight, 8 Eastern. ESPN 2. Williams sisters will play against each other. How nice is that?
And Capriati waiting for the winner of that one tonight. Cliff, who are you picking in that one tonight, Cliff? Seles and Clijsters.
Well, I asked you yesterday, and you went for Clijsters, so I had to go for Seles. I've got to stay that way, Patrick. You've probably forgotten that.
I don't remember you picking Seles.
Well, I did, because you were badgering me, telling me I stand the fence all the time, and you go for Clijsters. So I sort of mumbled something, trying to get out of it. But
okay.
Whatever. 15 to Lapentti, 2-1 Agassi.
Lapentti, high percentage of first serves, and he's taken the opportunity when he's gotten to net. Look at that. Forcing the action early. See how much he can continue to do that as his first serve percentage starts to drop. It's at 86% now.
25-mile-an-hour first serve is not known as a huge server.
That's why I say as it will inevitably drop, because he's not just spinning it in. He's going for big serves. He's making them all so far. He mixed that one up there, just sort of spun it out wide.
Agassi's won more Tennis Masters series than anyone in history. He's got 12 of them. One more than Pete. Lapentti holds on 2 apiece.
The good thing for Lapentti, Cliff, is that the points have been relatively short so far. Agassi was, I think, coming into this match trying to move him around right from the start to take his legs away from him. He knows that Lapentti's had some tough matches coming into this one as well. He's played a number of 3-setters, beat Novak and then a couple of tie breaks. Then he beat Voynet in 3.
This is hot and humid again today. Have you seen the forecast, by the way? Because we've got a few clouds in the sky.
So they're rolling in right now, yes.
See, our producers and directors are right on top of this stuff.
They're actually listening to us.
There are some showers forecast. Boy, we had last night of just downpour. Dean Lowe.
Now, credit to Lapentti. I mean, he knows he has to change it up a little bit. He's 0-4 against Agassi. Trying to take his backhand a little bit earlier in that rally. Hit one good one up the line. It's not a natural play for him to stand right on top of the baseline. Sort of flatten that backhand out the way Agassi can do it. He tried to do it there. He knows that if he stays back, Cliff, and plays his normal game, which is looping the ball and hitting and staying a couple of feet behind the baseline, that Agassi's going to run him ragged.
Cannon fodder. Game points Agassi. Holds on easily. He was in trouble in his last serve game. No trouble in that one. So we're on serve. No breaks yet. This is first set. We're live at the NASDAQ in Miami.
Lapentti been serving very well, staying in this match against Agassi. 3-2 for Agassi first set. Let's take a look at those first serves from Nicolas Lapentti with their ESPN shot spot. 103, you see the miles per hour. 106, that one. Look at the placement there. 125, 124, a couple of big ones up the middle. You can normally serve with more speed up the middle because you're going over the lower part of the net there, and you can flatten it out more. See out wide, the speed is significantly less, but very good placement from Lapentti.
Yeah, that's interesting. Should mention he's got 80% now with that one going in. It's even higher than that. Oh, how quickly, how early did he hit that? When he swung at that ball, he's nearly halfway between the serve line and the baseline. Look at this close in here.
Well, the amazing thing about that too, Cliff, is that the ball was basically into his body, and he's still able to generate that much power, even with this sort of cramped swing there. Incredible acceleration. Hitting zone is so big, Agassi. When I say that about the hitting zone, Cliffy, there are some players that they got to hit the ball in a certain spot, whether it's maybe their arm almost fully extended out there to really hit the ball hard and to hit it clean. Agassi can hit it from way out wide. He can generate a lot of pace. From that middle position he can, and also on that return we showed you on the second serve, but fairly in close to his body. From all different angles, different locations, he can still generate a lot of power.
And he's quick to get out of the way of it to make that swing too, so the speed helps him.
He's got a very strong midsection too, is the core of his body. And his hip rotation there, also that one flies on him.
What part of his body isn't strong? Friday Women's Basketball Championship action. 3-3 first set, no breaks. Yeah. Patrick, you put Agassi, Hewitt, Federer, Chela on one side of the court. You had them run all the way to the other. But that's what, 60
On a
yards?
sprint?
Yes.
Hewitt's going to win that one.
Yeah. Who comes second? I figured you were going to say Hewitt.
Maybe Federer.
But Agassi, is he close?
It's pretty close, but Agassi does so well as his footwork is great. Obviously, the full-out sprint isn't what's the most important in tennis. Is that first step. But Agassi isn't as quick as on the baseline moving defensively, scrambling. But he doesn't have to, because he's got that firepower, and he's the one most of the time dictating the play. But he has worked very hard in the last 4 years on improving that defensive ability, and it's also been a mental thing for him to be willing to do that. Federer has a lot of natural speed as well. Very quick off the mark.
Anybody else? I mean, who's right up there for those guys? 40 love Agassi, game point. Yep. They're not wasting time. These two, the points have been quick. 25 minutes old this match, 4 games to 3. Agassi leads. Lapentti will serve when we come back to Miami. There is plenty to do around here, and there's a lot to do other than just watch tennis at this Crandon Park tennis facility. Agassi leading 4-3. We were talking about the fastest players on the tour these days. Here's a look at your picks of some of the best of all time.
Yeah, well, at least in the modern era, Cliff, since I wasn't around too much before 68. Chang, Jimmy Connors, of course, his footwork was amazing. Borg, talk about covering the court. Vitas Gerulaitis, our old buddy from New York. Leighton Hewitt, he's got to put him up there. We leave anybody out, Cliff? I mean, I only had five, so I had to come up with 5.
Well, the Rocket, you would have put the Rocket in if you'd seen a lot of him. He was made of steel, and he was quick as lightning. Rocket, Rod Laver. Did I say Rod Laver? I don't
think you have to.
Knows. 3-4.
How about Stefan Edberg? Would you put him not quite at that level?
No, I thought he was good forwards and backwards. I don't think he was that good sideways. So I don't think he qualifies.
Okay.
Beautiful to watch, though. Love 15. Agassi hasn't had any break points. And you pointed out that Lapentti has been getting a very good first serve percentage in and playing it well.
And that time he used the backhand to set it up. Good depth on the backhand. That's his 5th forehand winner. Lapentti.
15 all. And 27-mile-an-hour heater. Long, sir.
And the first serve percentage starting to drop ever so slightly, and Agassi looking to take advantage. Now the first real pressure point that Lapentti's faced on serve today. 3-4, 15-30. Well, that's called that Agassi's starting to find his range. Lapentti not playing quite as offensively as he did. He really spun that first serve in, Cliff, in that point. And he just allowed Agassi to just slowly start dictating play.
That drop shot attempt wasn't going to...
That was old Desperado. That's the Desperado play.
Help him anyway, even if it went in. 15-40 break points here for Agassi. That'll do it for Agassi. Gets the first break of the match.
Well, Agassi's been holding serve comfortably. Now he'll serve for the set. Let's take a look at his first serves in on our shot spot. 203. I don't think there was a bit of misprint there. One mostly going out wide to the corner. We've seen Agassi do this. Look at the placement there. Outstanding. Right into the corner. All of them go into the Lapentti forehand. And even here up the middle. That is amazing. And he just throws a couple out wide here with the kicker. That one 114, a little harder. Look at that placement from Agassi. Again going wide to start off this game at 5-3. And that's why he's going to that forehand. There you go. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
It only just came down, got caught in the lights up there.
But also what it does, obviously the Lapentti forehand has that big swing, and it can, and therefore it's a little difficult to make clean contact consistently. But Agassi also swinging out wide so that he can open the court up.
15 love.
Ooh, that's a slider up the middle.
Safin score with Gonzalez.
6-3 Safin, 3-all second set out on the grandstand. Second ace for Agassi.
(30-15). never lost to Lapentti. 4 times they've played. As you just joined us. Last 2 times were a demolition of Lapentti by Agassi.
I mean, come on, Lapentti's got to wake up over there.
Well, I was going to ask you when we were saying that those
Better start moving over to that side.
that shot spot animation, you'd think he would figure out what we know.
It would register with him a little bit.
Game point and set point for Agassi.
Pitcher keeps pitching you out wide. You got to get out over the plate a little bit.
Game first set, Agassi.
Clean first set there for Agassi. He was in trouble on his serve. He down 2 break points, but he's won this set with 1 break.
Second set, Lapentti to serve.
So Safin has won the first set over Gonzalez for a place in the last 8. Hewitt is through easily. And there's Heidi, mother-in-law Heidi Graf, Andre Agassi's mother-in-law. So she gets to watch son-in-law play after having watched her daughter win. How many slam titles did Steffi win?
Is it 2021? She won this.
More than 3.
She won this thing 5 times. So Agassi's looking for his 5th here. He's won this event 4 times.
She won 22. Is that what you
22?
said? Yeah.
I said 21 or 22.
Close enough.
They're going to go double digits if Agassi can win this on this event.
30 love.
As a team, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she owned this tournament for a long time.
She owned every tournament.
Oh,
30-50.
Have we talked wrist injury yet? Australian summer wrist injury. That was just before the Australian this year for Agassi, and that really hurt him because he was playing well. He was in good shape. Wondering about how he would do for the year. He had wrist surgery, remember, a few years ago, and then a recurrence. But now it's fine, it seems.
That's for service. Game Lapentti.
So Agassi was not able to play the Australian. He was disappointed about it, obviously.
But to miss that, I had to make a tough but clear decision in reference to my overall health, and I just had to suck it up for 6 weeks and watch the tennis unfold and keep training and get myself so eager. And by the time it was time for me to go, I felt like I was jumping out of my skin.
What kept your brother going? And he took quite a long time off.
He did.
And try to
6,
come
9
back.
months, yeah.
What keeps a player like that?
Well, I think
motivated?
it's someone that's that good. I think it's winning the big tournaments and winning the slams. I think that Andre has that certainly has that goal, and I also think that Andre knows that he let a couple of years slip away where he didn't take it as seriously as he could have with his training and his motivation, and it hurt him, and he's not going to let these opportunities slip away. He knows he's just got a couple years left.
The interesting the way sometimes gets the one-hander slash and then the two, even when he could get the two-hander sometimes slice. Lapentti I'm talking about. Agassi also talks about enjoying the process, and I think that's sort of interesting. Win or lose, he seems to enjoy the hard work of getting ready for events. 31 years of age now and a dad, and
that's a huge factor, Cliff, because I think that the fact that he can go out there and even in practice go through little things, and I think he's enjoyed that aspect of having a new coach and Darren Cahill, you know, having someone else, a different voice to tell him things, different feedback, looking at the game analytically maybe a little bit differently than he did with Brad Gilbert, who has had so much success with Agassi. Helped in the 6 Grand Slam titles.
30 all.
It's just like even in a team sport, Cliff, or a great basketball team or football team, sometimes they just need a different voice, a new voice.
That's out of reach. Good play there. Very sweet drop volley there by Agassi. I entirely agree with that, by the way. Sometimes, like picking up a new piece of equipment sort of makes it a new game, new enthusiasm.
Agassi's enthusiasm clearly evident this week, Cliff. Moving. Look how quickly he gets into that and just dinks it over. Feeling much more healthy this week, too, than he did in Indian Wells. His back was slightly bothering him. His leg was a little sore from playing all those matches he played in San Jose and Scottsdale. And he won Scottsdale and reached the finals in San Jose, so I think that caught up to him a little bit in Indian Wells. Had some time to rest and prepare for this event. Agassi's 4th double fault there, 2nd in this game.
Deuce.
But see, there's where Agassi uses his smarts, Cliff, his brains. He gets to deuce, and remember we showed you on the shot spot how almost all of his serves have gone out wide. Then on a big point at deuce, he elects to hit what turned out to be his biggest serve of the match. That one there right up the middle at 121 that wins him the point. Variety from Agassi on the serve of the unreturned serves. 10 in the deuce court, splitting it up to wide and down the middle. In the at court, mostly down the middle, 1 out wide.
Had a glimpse there of his coach, Killer Cahill. It's so funny. He's such a low-key kind of a guy. When you think of Killer, you expect to see some wild man. Very quiet, thoughtful coach around the Agassi.
Of course, Cahill worked with Hewitt, Leighton Hewitt, for a while. Helped Hewitt get to that #1 ranking, that perch where he stands now. Hewitt changing coaches to move over to Jason Stoltenberg at the end of last year.
That is wide. Obviously not shakes his head on that one. Interesting when you compare #1s. Agassi's been #1, and then and he's let it slide, and then he gets back to #1. There's something of the artist in him. I mean, the unexpected with Agassi. That's what makes him so attractive, so charismatic in a way. You don't have that same feeling about Hewitt, though. He's a businessman. He's a hard worker. With him, what you see is what you get. You're going to see a workman-like job every time. See what that is. 30-love Lapentti, 1 game all, first set Agassi. By the way, we're going to stay with this match until its conclusion, just so you know. Love.
40 love.
Only 1 break so far.
This is where you're nice to your opponent, Cliff. You could. Oh, what do you think Lendl would have done with this shot?
He would have made you
He ripped
duck.
it right at his chest.
Lapentti holds on. Players are going to change ends. They'll take a break. We'll join them. It's 2-1 Lapentti on serve in the second. First to Agassi.
Chela Rios. The match will be played later tonight.
Safin could challenge Hewitt, don't you think?
Oh yes.
I mean, if he hits,
yes.
if he's firing.
Oh yeah. Well, he'll be firing. If he fires him in, oh, that'll be a nice, real nice matchup.
30 to Agassi.
Federer sort of quietly going through the draw, but look out for him too. Expect him to beat Pavel, and Pavel's playing well again. You remember Pavel won in Canada last year at the Tennis Masters Series event there, but expect to see Federer get through that one.
Did you see how far he ran around that ball to get to the forehand side and then clip it for the winner? I mean, what's this?
He sets it up there with a good heavy ball, and that's where Lapentti struggles there, is to do damage from that back. And look at the acceleration through that ball. I mean, it's incredible how he can create so much pace just violently going through that ball.
You're watching live coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open. We welcome you. It's Cliff Drysdale here. Patrick McEnroe alongside. It's Andre Agassi of the USA, Nicolas Lapentti of Ecuador. First set, Agassi 6-3. It's 2 games all here in the second set. This is best of 3 for a place in the last 8 of this championship. And coming up tomorrow, it will be Serena and Venus at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Live coverage here from Stadium Court of the NASDAQ 100. Venus versus Serena. Rematch of the U.S. Open final.
Prime time final. Big return from Andre. He's starting to get on that serve. He has that sense of, there's Pato there. Pato Rodriguez, the coach. Jose Luis Clerc next to him, former great Argentinian player. He's Lapentti's coach, of course.
Go by a sushi restaurant in PMAC goes about apoplectic. He orders all these things I've never even heard of. You should invite Lapentti here because that's his favorite food. He's a sushi. This is just a little trivia for you. He said, I like meat a lot as well. Fond of an Ecuadorian dish called ceviche. That's raw fish. Raw fish cured in lemon. Love 30. Lapentti here in trouble at 2-2. Second.
How many volleys can he put right down the middle there?
Finally gets one over Agassi's head.
This is right back to him. This one right back to him. Andres couldn't believe it. Then he goes right at him again. Put that thing away. You just see, Cliff, too, as this match has gone on, that Agassi's starting to play much, even almost inside the baseline in the rallies, and Lapentti a little bit further back. Agassi just starting to push him further and further behind the baseline. Remember earlier, Lapentti was able to play a little more aggressively. That first serve percentage was up. He was taking more chances. Going for that big forehand. It's not happening as much anymore. That's a big serve there. Agassi was there.
He was. He's choosing the right place now. He's anticipating well. Lapentti could be in those soaps that, you know, when I'm flipping through the channels and these South American soaps. You know, he's I can just see him, you know, whatever they do in the soaps anyway. He's a sort of good-looking kid.
They act.
Yeah, exactly. He could be an actor. That's what I'm trying to say. Game point, Lapentti.
Basically, what you're trying to say is a good-looking guy. He's suave looking.
Yeah. But that Latin thing.
Yeah.
And he's not a bad player either. 3-2. He leads in the second set. First set to Agassi, 6-3. We're live at the NASDAQ in Miami. This is live coverage of the NASDAQ 100. It is, this is a great time of the year, isn't it? Indian Wells and now Key Biscayne with Miami. About 10 minutes from here, you can be in downtown Miami, depending on the traffic. Here with the tournament, it may take just a little longer. 3-2. Lapentti leads. Agassi won the first set 6-3. Agassi 7.
There's that wide serve from Agassi, opening up the court. Agassi can take that first ball so early on either side, forehand or the backhand, quickly get it to the open court, that time finishing to the net. Oh, what an overhead. Go up the line from deep in the corner there. That is some serious confidence. I mean, this was an amazing defensive lob. Look where this ball lands, right in the corner. Normally you just slide this cross court. Agassi drills it up the line. That wide one again, ace number 3. Looking very, very confident on that first serve, Cliff. He's really attacking it with his legs. Getting great explosion with those legs, pushing himself up.
And 66% of them for the match. That's good.
And Agassi's gotten the first serve in, Cliff. He's been 25 of 29.
Right, and 10 of 10 in the second in the set. He lost a point. Game point, Agassi.
Game Agassi.
So Lapentti now serving at 3 games all. He's been holding serve pretty routinely. Let's look at his first serves in this second set. 91 out wide, 99 going into the body a few times here. Still going wide again. Well, a few more serves into the body there. A couple up the middle. This is where you can get more pace. See 123, 120, 125. Easier to hit it flatter when you're going down the middle up the tee, as the players like to call it. A couple more up the tee there. And then out in the ad court out wide. Good pace there. So good direction from Lapentti. Very solid serving. Look at the depth too. Every first serve very close to the line.
You know what you were saying earlier about this first step of Agassi's is quite right, Patrick. There's a look at the Lapentti winners and his net points. He's been very good when he comes in, hasn't he? He's very quick off the mark. That first step. Change direction on a dime.
Kicker out wide there from Lapentti. Agassi not quite getting his legs out to that one. Just 1 hour of play. $15 all. Agassi really measuring that backhand there. A solid return right there. So Agassi opens the court up, steps in, not enough pace, depth. Agassi able to attack that short ball off the backhand of Lapentti. That was a big serve there, but Agassi was looking for it here. The winners from Agassi in the match, even off both sides from the back. But look at that, 6 with the serve and 6 with the volley. That's an aggressive Andre Agassi moving forward in this match.
Great point, Agassi.
Agassi starting to sense where that first serve is going, though. Someone in the crowd threw the ball back. Because they're sitting in the front row, Cliff. They're not real tennis fans. They don't understand. Hold that ball when it's between the first and second serve. It's like, I don't know. I just came my first day to tennis here. I don't know. I saw the ball. I was trying to be nice.
They told me it's not like baseball where you keep it, you throw it back.
Lapentti should get a first serve here because of the disruption in play. Yes, he will. He's got a ball in his pocket. Didn't hear an announcement from the chair. We should have.
Agassi has broken for the first time in the second set. He only needed one break in the first set. He won that 6-3. He's got 4-3 now. Live, Andre Agassi. More of him when we come back to Miami. And Jennifer Capriati is a semi-finalist as well. So that will, the winner tonight will round out who is in all 4 of the final 4. Agassi with the break in the second, 4-3. He has had, let's see, only 2 break points against him.
Both of those are very early in that first set, Cliff. He's been cruising since then. That's a brick. Hesitated there, Agassi. Didn't quite know what to do with that low one. Wasn't sure if he should let it bounce. Watch the hesitation just before he started to move in there, and that cost him.
Nice mover, Agassi. He has worked on his frame so hard. Gil Reyes, his trainer, gets him out in the workout room. I remember when he was just a kid, used to watch him, Patrick, when he had the long hair. His legs looked to me like they were going to give in, you know, they were so spindly. He's not like that at all anymore. 30. Oof.
15-13.
There's that miss hit on the forehand from Lapentti. Is Agassi looking to go at that side now that he needs these points. 15-30. Lapentti looks to move around and hit a forehand here.
Not even close, and a couple of break points for Lapentti. Been a while since he's had chances. He hasn't broken yet.
Oh, the feathery backhand there, just floated it deep. And Agassi's forehand breaking down there. The winners from Lapentti 5, a lot more errors.
Thank you.
Great point.
Oh, it's a little cat and mouse won by the Ecuadorian. Fan celebration.
Well, Lapentti knows that Agassi's not that comfortable around the net, so very smartly he just puts this one down low, and then he doesn't. Look at this, he just dinks this one. Agassi just puts it right back on his racket. Surprised at how quickly Agassi came in that rally. Came in immediately and wasn't a great approach. He lost his patience slightly in that game, Andre.
Immediate break back by Lapentti, so we're back on serve in the second now. Now that's a good point there from Agassi. Watch this game very carefully. Because Agassi's just been broken. You can be vulnerable. Then you start to question your own invincibility. And Lapentti's never beaten Agassi. But well, he's got pretty high margin on those shots. And for him also at this stage, he's thinking, look, I was down a set and a break. I've been given a second breath, a second life in this match. See what he does with it. Love 15.
It looks to me, Cliff, like Agassi's looking like he wants to take away that oxygen for the second time. He's been crispy clean his first 2 points. What a return there. He just blasted that return. So that's the difference in Agassi, so the new Agassi, Cliff, in the last few years, is that he comes back quickly. He used to have those moments, as you see Lapentti's coach there. He used to have those moments where he'd get down on himself when he did lose his serve like that, and he would get negative. But he bounces back so quickly now.
Love 30. Crispy clean. I like that.
Love 40.
Boy, he's played it well. Agassi played it. 2 points were well played because he kept the pressure on. But there's been 3 unforced, well, 2 unforced errors in the double fault. Pretty sloppy game from Lapentti, really. Yeah, disconsolate Lapentti is going to walk to the side now as Agassi has got this match on his racket, on his serve, in fact. He'll serve for the match when we come back. You're watching live coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open. It comes to you from Key Biscayne, so close to Miami, Florida, about 15 minutes from the airport. In fact, you're watching Andre Agassi against Nicolas Lapentti. First set, 1 break, 6-3 Agassi. Second set, they've traded breaks, and Agassi's now got a second break, so he's serving for the match and a place in the quarters.
Dropper.
In fact, we've just had 3 breaks in a row.
The return set it up, and this is what I think Lapentti hasn't done enough of as this match has gone on, is take some risks, take some opportunities to go for some returns. He did that early, and he hasn't been able to force himself to do that consistently. Beautiful touch there. It is difficult, though, when it gets tight and it gets closer, to get away from the style of play that you're comfortable with. And for Lapentti, that's essentially defensive tennis.
That's a good serve. That's a good serve.
And you see someone like Agassi make a couple of mistakes, as Andre did in that last service game, and you think, oh, maybe if I just put it back in play, maybe he'll do that again. Those are the questions that go through your mind when you're out there.
15 all.
Again, Agassi not handling that off pace
15,
ball around his shoelaces. Lapentti very smartly just dinks it down low. Agassi moves in, just not great feel around the net. Bunts it long. Agassi in trouble again on his serve.
15-30. This crowd not quite sure about this match. They maybe want to see a little more. I want to lose Agassi, but Lapentti's a big favorite here, so there are a lot of dynamics here at work. 15-30.
Oops. Wow. Didn't go after that ball at all. Agassi.
15-14.
Very strange. Lapentti converting finally on his break point in that last game.
Lackadaisical shot there from Agassi. Break points. That's. See, I agree. His technique on the volleys is not fabulous, but this is what he usually does. By the time he gets to the net, he's got it won. He closes up close enough, and then of course he can't miss.
Much easier volley there, yeah. And there was a better approach there, Cliff. And that, of course, Lapentti was at full stretch there. See, that's where Lapentti, I think, done a better job. He's been real successful up there.
8 points, second serve now. No, that's going to sail wide, and Lapentti breaks back. 4 straight breaks. It is, isn't it? 4 straight breaks.
Yeah, I mean, Agassi getting quite defensive in these last couple of games, Cliff, and a little bit impatient. He's pushing at a couple of backhands. Very surprising. And it gave Lapentti time, and he put a lot of action on that last forehand. Ball had a lot of spin when it came off the court, and that's what forced the Agassi error.
Yeah, but the one before that, when he hit that backhand, there was no...
Yeah, he pushed it. Yeah. Agassi pushed it, yeah.
No excuse on that one. Go figure. That's what makes this so much fun and so unpredictable these days.
Thank you.
5 apiece in the second. So Lapentti given life again in this match. You're watching live coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open. We are in Miami, Florida, and you're watching Andre Agassi for a place here in the semifinal, taking on Nicolas Lapentti. 6-3 first set Agassi. It's 5 apiece in the second. Cliff Drysdale, Patrick McEnroe trying to explain 4 straight breaks of serve when only 1 break had happened just, it seems like just a few games ago. Talking prime time stuff, and there are no 2 more charismatic players in women's tennis than those 2. And they're frankly the class of the field. They just don't play as much as most of the other women. What's Lapentti going on about?
No.
I think he got a time warning. He got a time violation warning.
25 seconds, you know that. You know that. I say, you know, you have to be ready to serve after 25 seconds.
Saying you have 25 seconds, you have to be ready to play. So it's going to be a lot longer than 25.
Who told me? Who told me? I did, when you walked by.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
He was the opposite line.
Okay, only because he told you, right?
I heard. You have to be ready.
Nicolas Lapentti is the kind of guy who you feel is not out here playing tennis because he has to. He comes from a wealthy family in Ecuador, and there's a class about him, there's a serenity about him that's it's very nice. And he's sort of talking very casually to the chair ump, but you can tell he's steaming, isn't he? Love 30.
Please.
seems like it's there for Agassi whenever he bears down. Cliff is his mother-in-law cheering now with Agassi at 3 more break points. That's why it's just surprising to me the way he's let these last couple of games slip away.
How different is this break point stat now that we show you? 1 break is all there was in the first set. And Agassi gets the first break in the second, and you say, well, he's just going to routine the next couple of games. And break point here for Agassi. We should remind everyone, Patrick, that he's played 7 tiebreaks this year, right? Agassi, and hasn't won one. He's won one.
But all the sets he's lost this year have been tiebreaks. He's 1-6 overall.
So,
and I think he's 25-0 now in sets that haven't been tiebreaks.
So he wants to steer clear of the dreaded TB then, if he can. Break point. A little quicker step to the side now as Agassi gets the 3rd straight break. He's broken 4 times in all. This is what set up the break, and he will serve for the match again. Agassi is serving for the match here on Stadium Court at the NASDAQ 100 Open. This facility built 10 years ago now about, and how great it has been. I mean, it was designed perfectly because it's the right size. And it is in a beautiful area. There are some unforced error stats.
A lot more errors on his own serve than on the return games, especially these last couple. Well, Agassi trying to reel it in and play a little more conservatively here, but gives Lapentti the opportunity. The Ecuadorian takes it.
Oh yeah, that's way out of reach. Half volley drop shot.
Lapentti was so far back behind the baseline when he made contact here. Agassi knew he just had to get there and just drop it over. So he wasn't even that well placed. It almost landed on the service line. Lapentti being so far back couldn't make up that ground.
Think of that play, just slice off the back, not using his 2-hander.
No, it's obviously bothering Agassi at the moment. I'm surprised it is working, to be honest. I mean, I think that when Lapentti takes some more risk and has to flatten out that backhand, he does well. But that is his more reliable shot. You know, he doesn't miss that slice.
15-30.
I think it's great when you force the other guy to make a mistake. Then it's great. Another double for Agassi. That's his 5th. Just mental. Let me say it's mental now. Mental block.
Well, he's going to see a tiebreak unless he comes back in this game. How redundant is that to say that, but that's the fact. If he loses this point, you'll see it. Tiebreak, and we talked about his tiebreak record being so bad, and he knows it, by the way. I mean, it's not like he's unaware of it. He's thinking to himself. I don't remember where it was that we last saw him lose a tiebreak, but he said, "Oh,
in Indian
Scott.
Wells, he lost 2.
Yeah.
6-6. He lost to Kranjčević from Switzerland. Ooh, slight little miss hit on that volley from Agassi. You could see he thought about hitting the overhead. Big serve. And then he says, oh, no, wait a second. I'm down break point. I don't want to see that tie break. Let me just sort of push it over there. Oh, a little shaky.
Deuce."
That's a big one right there. Biggest of the day for Agassi, Cliff.
Lost his last 2 serve games and was down 15-40 in this one.
That's where you kick in the adrenaline there, 124.
But he's come back. So match point for Agassi.
Thank you.
So Andre Agassi will take on the winner of Juan Ignacio Chela and Marcelo Rios. How do you explain what happened at the end of this match?
I think it was just a little mental block from Agassi, but the fist pump, he comes back, hits the brakes when he needs it. Nothing to really concern himself with. Looking forward to that semifinal. I expect that Rios will get through Chela, but Chela's had a big week so far. He's talented, the Argentinian. Federer, Pavel, I like Federer there. Hewitt, Safin, that's a tight one, but I'm going to give that one to Hewitt.